Hey everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. Welcome to the Power Rangers Altered Universe. I'm going to be doing an overview over the last two movies that I just dropped. That's episode 37 and episode 38. And I'm also going to just be doing a little bit of rambling as well. Just talking about just things that are on my mind, the project, and just where I'm at mentally moving forward. I believe it's Power Rangers month. I know for a fact that our hero, the great Jason David Frank's movie, is about to drop on the 28th. Yes, I will be there present, and I will see it. Can't wait to see my hero's legacy be put to the screen. I honestly can't wait. And I'm just happy. It brings me joy, honestly, to see everybody becoming Power Rangers on TikTok. There's this trend where people are using AI to become Power Rangers on TikTok, and I see people becoming Mighty Morphin, Lightspeed Rescue, and even their own Rangers. I threw my own hat in the ringer and became Gokai Spartan, which was the opening to episode 38, more or less. So, yeah, just within this project, I realized the last couple of episodes I've been working mainly on. Each episode has primarily been for a main character, essentially. I would say the last 8 episodes. Like, if I were to look back at it, like, if I'm looking at it right now. So each episode that I made thus far has been mostly for a different character or a different world, just in general. So from, like, I would say episode 27 and 28, that was when they had to rescue the Rangers' souls from hell. And 29 was the start of the Island of Illusions arc. And mostly that arc is continued all the way up until episode 35. And then we get to episode 31. That's when the RPM Rangers got destroyed, as well as the introduction to the Akatsuki Rangers. Episode 33, that's the Gokaiga episode. This is what the Gokaigas and the Megaforce go against Arceus Gil / Emperor Malvo and the Zangief Armada. As well as the episode that introduces the Hound and Decker. Well, Decker was already here since like episode 2, but it reintroduces Decker, the Hound, and Antonio and Aria. And it gives Inkworth his power up on episode 33. 34 was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Centered episode, because I had this plot where Rex and Weevil are not friends anymore, because Rex started hanging out with Joey and he started dating Mai, and his life started getting a little bit better, and Weevil's life took the opposite turn, where he was just like his sponsorships abandoned him. He keeps getting beat up because he keeps on robbing people, and the Galactic Crash House could use that darkness and make it potent. So they used Weevil to attack the city and stuff, because they're trying to harvest to gain Zeus back. There's various different deities that they're trying to summon. Zeus is one of them. Regalia's trying to come back on her own, but for Zeus, Athena is trying to bring that one back, and they need to harvest souls to do that. Episode 35 and 36 is the Xehanort War, whereas Xion, Littlefinger, and Xemnas and Ansem, they poison Master Xehanort, and it backfires because he has like a ritual on his heart where if it were to ever be like corrupted or like destroyed, he could cast an endless void of replicas that terrorize the entire multiverse. Now, they didn't get to every section of the multiverse because most of the Rangers in the Flawless Military handled the clones before they could get everywhere, but they did attack a good portion of the multiverse. Master Xehanort was dealt with by the Gravestone Twins, as well as Tommy, Mami, and Sora at that time. And all the clones were destroyed. All except for one. The clone of Mami was not destroyed. It is basically had a will of its own, unlike the rest of the other clones. Well, the truth is, some of them were destroyed too fast for them to develop a will. Some of them probably could have developed a will of their own, but they got bodied too fast. But Mami's clone escaped as soon as Mami showed up, because like her being hit by her original self for some reason kind of like triggered like her own individuality. So more or less, Regalia wants to use this clone as a vessel, because Regalia's trying to escape the 7th Hell, because I put her there. Yeah, the Gokai Spartan put her there. Like, he came there and he vanquished her, and he basically had to somewhat restart the entire universe. And the Gokai Spartan wasn't going to have the power of the First Light forever. He needed the universe to have a protector. That's why he was saving the nobody, Rogexiel, to become that protector in the future, because he already seen endless cataclysms. Because the Gokai Spartan mostly only is summoned by extinction and destruction. He appears whenever planets start dying, worlds start going, and the gods are not there to answer prayers. That's when the Gokhan Spartan appears. He appears to basically set things right and obliterate evil. And he's done this 2 times. He's done this several times. There's other times when the Gokhan Spartan has interfered, but the 2 times that we've got recorded thus far has been with Regalia and with Ikage and Madoko and the Zangetsu Armada. But basically, Rogetsu could feel that there's something going on, especially knowing that her son interacted with her Heartless. So she knows her Heartless is there, but it's just a conundrum, because her Heartless is the one creature that might be able to beat her, or she might be able to beat it. It's unclear whether that was happening, because she never bested her Heartless before. She never beat her Darkness. She started off as a being of nothing, a being like kind of like Xemnas and Roxas, whereas they didn't necessarily, they were like a zombie at first and stuff. They had to learn, but since she's a goddess, it came back a little bit faster. And when she was in Organization 13, she didn't like the conditions. She didn't like the fact that she had to assault minors. She didn't like the fact that she had to manipulate people and turn them into monsters. And she didn't like the fact that they had like, she didn't like the bathroom conditions and nothing like that. She didn't like the fact that Castle was just all white. And like, you know, she wanted to play her Spanish music on Sunday, and Xemnas told her to turn it off, and that was the last fucking straw. That and a lot of shit, because most of the organization was complaining, especially Luxord. Well, like, once, because Luxord's one of the smarter people in the organization. Like, he was able to figure out that Xigbar was Zushu in Kingdom Hearts. So Luxord was one of the first people to figure out that Rogetsu was more than the sum of her parts, that she was different from the rest of the nobodies around him. And Luxord started speaking up about how he didn't like that he wasn't getting paid enough money. Like they were getting paid, but they weren't getting paid enough. And the city was empty, and Luxord had ideas to make the city a booming place. Because remember, Luxord comes from Quadratum. I'm gonna be real, I don't know what they're gonna do with Luxord in Kingdom Hearts. So I'm kind of maneuvering in a way where my universe is separate from everything else. It's a non-canon. The non-canon itself is the canon in this universe. But more or less, the canons, whatever's going on in Kingdom Hearts, the House of the Dragons, that exists there. And if it gets referenced here, it's a canon shift, basically. Basically, it's like a system update. That's what a canon shift is. It's a system. It could be an introduction to a character, or just a system update in general, based on new information. So we know Luxord comes from Quadratum. You know, he comes from the real world, at least I believe so. And Luxord would figure that the world that never was, this empty city, why is it empty? Why is it only Heartless and nobodies that are just here, not really doing much? Let's put them to work. And basically, most of the Dusk, I'm gonna cover this because I didn't necessarily like say what happened to the nobodies that were already there, because remember, there's like Dusk, Berserkers, Sorcerers and shit. Yeah, most of them got turned into regular fucking people, and they live in that city. So like, and yeah, they could still somewhat use their nobody powers and shit like that, but more or less they're like turned into regular people under Rogetsu before. But that's just the city itself. Now, when it comes to like my stories in general, right now I'm mostly focused on the Flawless Military, the Galactic Crash House, and the Game of Thrones plotline, because that's where my heart is at right now. Like I'm doing stuff with the Rangers too. But right now I've been working on this Game of Thrones plotline for a long time, and I need to give it time to take up space and breathe, because I really want to get to these characters. Like, you don't understand, guys, how much I love Game of Thrones. Like, I understand season 8 was season 8, and some people are talking about House of Dragons or whatever, like, in an unfavorable light, but I can't relate to none of that, nigga. I love Game of Thrones, son. I love that show. I love its characters. I know them inside and out. I know how they think. And like, even some of the pieces of shit, I'd be thinking, okay, what if this person what if Joffrey got medication? What if Brandon Stark was the one fucking manipulating a lot of these fucking people? And what if some of them came to terms with the pieces of shit that they are, and they could actually change? And what if some of them never fucking change? So it's just like, this is like a combination of both. Like, I'm trying to, like, because there's a lot of closure I still need from Game of Thrones, guys. Like, I'm sorry. I love God, man. Like you don't understand. Like, the Starks, the Lannisters, Baelish, Varys, the Targaryens, the Baratheons, them my niggas right there. I love God, bro. So yeah, so right now I was giving that one time to read episode 38. But episode 37 wasn't mostly about God. That one was mostly about Mavis and the Coalition and the war that happened prior to that. Because in the Coalition, there was a gigantic coalition of worlds that existed. Basically, they wanted to make a unified galaxy and stuff. Kind of like what Rogexiel's doing now, but back then, and without the goddess and stuff like that. It was just a bunch of different aliens and different humanoid species from different species and different Earths and stuff. Because there's different Earths. It's not one Earth. There's mad different Earths. That because, like, in many different things, like Dragon Ball Z, like Naruto, like, they don't necessarily have a name for their planet, so it's just considered Earth. So I would just be like, alright, so there's just different Earths then. But the point I'm trying to make is, more or less, the coalition of world was looking for these different planets, different Earths, and just different sentient human species, so they can basically, you know, have a unified front and basically bring everybody up into a new age, give them technology, like, you know, fix whatever problems they got going on in their planets and stuff like that. And the Power Rangers were the ones that existed. They were the ones that were around that time. Mostly the Sentais from Gold Ranger all the way to Jetman, and some of the more future Sentais, like the Star Force Rangers, because remember, in Cosmic Fury, those powers are ancient. They kind of found that on Rafcon and stuff like that. How did they get there? So basically, there were a team of Star Force Rangers that died prior to that, as well as a team of Air Force Rangers, Biotech Rangers, Supersonic Rangers, and the Wildlife Rangers. All of these Rangers, they all exist basically in different worlds, doing different things, but they all on call. There's other Ranger teams there that did get bodied, but more or less, I'll probably do a flashback on what happened to them. And some of their powers are still there. Some people are going to show up. I'll probably do, like, certain teams from the old set, like maybe a Jetman team, because I could definitely do something with Jetman. I like Jetman. But yeah, but Ikage and Madoka were hiding because Queen Miyaga and Emperor Malvo, Queen Miyaga daddy just died. Yeah, Light Man, they destroyed her father. And she loves her father with all her heart. And her father was trying to take energy from the planet so their planet could survive and sustain itself. And they destroyed them. And they have a whole armada. And there is a group of assassins known as the Cthulhuns. The Cthulhuns, there's two different variants. There's peaceful Cthulhuns and then there's the warlike Cthulhuns. So Queen Miyaga calls Cryptus, this is before Cryptus becomes the king of Planet Cthulhu, because right now it's King Roderick. Right now it's under King Roderick. King Cryptus wants to dethrone him. King Roderick, he's a water person. He's not like a squid person like Ikage and Madoka. He's more like a water entity, kind of like Aquarius. Like a water person, and his wife, she is more like the Ikage and Madoka, but more like a peaceful variant. And they rule that planet peacefully at around this time. And Cryptus wants to basically turn them into basically world conquerors and stuff like that, because their species has a genetic disposition to fucking be OP as fuck. And he's saying, why the fuck are we just staying on this fucking planet? We could expand, we could conquer. So they have assassins that are on call. There's more than just Ikage and Madoka. There's Travadis, there's Imelda, and there's other unnamed Cthulhuns that I'm going to more or less flesh out. But the ones that they called was Ikage and Madoka. And if y'all know anything about Ikage and Madoka on this channel, they put belt to ass. That's what they do. That's what they do. They've been doing this shit for centuries. And they calling them is an apocalyptic event for any Ranger team, because they don't play. And they're damn near fucking unkillable. You blow them up, they just come back. I'm gonna smack you on fucking mace and evil destructo cannon you into oblivion. That's how treacherous and destructive Ikage and Madoka is. And they've wiped out at least 4 teams. And whatever teams they didn't wipe out, Vrain, which is Queen Miyaga and Emperor Malvo's first son, before Vakar Vrak were born, he dies. He dies at some point. The Gokai Spartan is going to deal with that one as well. It's going to be showing another flashback. But yeah, that one dies. But essentially, yeah, he's also murking Power Ranger teams too. They're obliterating damn near everything. And the Coalition, they've already lost Megazords, Rangers, and all that. And the only thing they have left is the gigantic Sun Dragon. Now, in my mind, there were several races in the Coalition. There were the Eltarians, which is Zordon's people and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a variant of like Baelish there essentially, because remember, most of the flawless military, and especially the main 7, have different past lives. So And one of Littlefinger's past lives, he was Eltarian, and he died. And same thing goes for Daemon Targaryen, technically, because the Targaryen, they're called the Anazians when they're in space. They don't get to call it the Targaryens till they turn into Westeros, because there were many different Targaryens and dragon riders in Valyria and stuff. Nobody really explained how Valyria got that way. So in this story, aliens came in and helped develop Valyria and the dragons. And the dragons kind of came from space. It came from this gigantic sun dragon, which is basically like a dragon god. And the sun that it comes from, it's not the sun, it's a sun. Is basically an egg. So if this dragon ever dies, there's going to be another dragon that hatches and another sun that's going to take its place, essentially. Because the dragon did die. He Kagan swallowed it whole. He ate it. He was hungry. He was like, damn, I can't kill that thing. But it was too big and too powerful for Kagan to kill. He didn't have enough power to kill that dragon. So I said, I'm just going to absorb him like Majin Buu. And when he said, Great Stomach of Gatumbo, in truth, Gatumbo is another character that I had made for Power Rangers Ultimate Universe before I even uploaded it on YouTube. He was in my Flawless Military story. He was supposed to be an ultimate threat, like basically a planet eater. So that's where I got the name from with that. But he becomes a gigantic, overpowered dragon god that he's so strong that his war can obliterate planets, and it started the doom of Valyria. Because Westeros was located far away from wherever the hell that was going on. So when he roared, it only caused the cataclysm of Valyria. It didn't destroy that planet. But everything else around him got obliterated. There was a planet of tiger people, a planet of red people, a planet of lizard people. They all got destroyed. And Modoko was just riding on the back of the dragon, helping the dragon destroy shit. Because yes, it's still... Yeah, he may have lost his mind, but I mean, we're going to destroy everything anyway, so fuck it. And at that point, extinction is so vast, and nobody's trying to stop this, because Rogexiel's sleeping. Mommy's sleep. She cooking. Mommy is in the oven right now. She's cooking. She ain't fully formed yet. She's a nobody, but she's like a goddess nobody. That takes a little bit longer. And she sleep, but her sister's awake. At least Mavis is, because Rihanna, I gotta touch on Rihanna and what she was doing. I got a whole storyline for her. But Mavis around this time, she was the ruler of that galaxy. She had access to the First Light, which she barely even used. She kind of just had the First Light there to just look at it like orb, because that's what she did. She kind of observed it, because she didn't interfere in the universe. She'd rather the world goes exactly the way it does, because there's a reason Mavis doesn't interfere, and I'll get to that when I get to Calypso's Odyssey, which is the backstory, which I really want to get to, or I might just do that whole story in flashbacks, because I don't want to confuse my viewers with Power Rangers Ultimate Universe, Calypso's Odyssey. I kind of want to just keep it one thing, because it's still the same characters essentially. But at some point after this war, at least a couple of years later, Mavis is going to strip the world of all fantasy and magic. And then watch what happens then. And then the world's going to destroy itself, because it's just going to be just like our world. And then the nuclear war is just going to happen. And that's going to wake Rogexiel up. That's how Mommy gets woken up. And if you really want to see that part, it's kind of explained in episode 12, the siblings episode, when Mommy and Auntie get into a fight. Damn. Mommy, Rogexiel, Auntie, Mavis. But yeah, basically, they get into it, essentially. Now, the Gokai Spartan has to intervene. The Gokai Spartan appears through extinction and destruction. Whenever there's too many planets, whenever the life toll gets to an unfathomable number, that's when he shows up. The first thing he did was save baby Dexter and baby Beatrice and send them all the way into the 30s, into the future. Basically, send them like at least to like 1920s, around that time. He sends them to the future. They can go up there. And basically, so the coalition could exist in the future, essentially, because they're the offsprings of Kaiser Gravestone, which he was one of the founders and leaders of the coalition. And after that, he proceeds to put belt to ass on Ikage and Modoko. Ikage and Modoko just flying in space, being Targaryen, just being a dragon. And here comes Gokai Spartan with his holy shield and his final wave. Obliterates Ikage and Modoko. But they are Cthulhuans. They can regenerate. Their regeneration factor is one of the strongest. Those two specifically. There's other Cthulhu's, but it takes longer. That's why Modoko was able to come back in episode 38, and we haven't seen Inkworth yet, because he's still regenerating. Modoko, her shit's almost instant. But basically, he has to fight both of them, and they've never seen this warrior before. They don't know who he is, what he's about, or anything. They just see a Power Ranger cosplaying as a Spartan, and to them, it's nothing. Let's just take him out. But they realize that their attacks aren't really doing much to him. He keeps on blocking them. Sword's too fucking strong. This warrior's fucking OP. He has the first freaking light. They try to blast him. He reflects the energy right back. Blows them up again. But this time, he doesn't allow them to regenerate. He says, fuck it, I'm going to send you to hell. He sends them to a place in hell where they can't escape. Basically, the Abyss of Evil. That's why later on, when Tommy and Draken clash, they get to be released from the Abyss of Evil, because they were sent there by the Gokai Spartan. They were sent there by the Gokai Spartan. And the thing is, there's so many different hells, because there's so many different multiverses. So basically, some of these villains from other Power Rangers was going to that same Abyss of Evil. And even the Kamen Rider ones. That's why Leo Tetsugami from Kamen Rider 4 was able to come back from the Abyss of Evil as well. But basically, he vanquished Hikage and Madoka and then disappeared. And he also vanquished the rest of the freaking Zangief Armada while he was at it. The Queen Miyaga was tight. That, she expected everything to just be obliterated, and then that be the end of it. I mean, it kind of was, because, Hikage and Madoka did their job. They killed everybody that she had a problem with. So, at the end of the day, Queen Miyaga was able to go to sleep, sound at night, knowing that all the people that she hated was dead, because they killed her father. So she was just happy. So Queen Miyaga got to live for thousands of years, content. And after that, she didn't fucking stop at just those Rangers. No, Queen Miyaga goes to different multiverses and kills Rangers you never fucking heard of. It's just what she does. She's been doing this so fucking efficiently. And in fact, once Arceus Gil, Emperor Malvo, his Armada started having problems with the Megaforce Rangers, she dumped his ass. She broke up with him at that time, because at this point, she's been destroying Rangers so long, she got it down to a science. Why are you suffering with the worst team of Power Rangers in existence? That's what she had it fucked up with. She was like, no. And that's what happened in the original Megaforce. He was fucking with the Megaforce Rangers. All the Rangers showed up. They killed that nigga. And when he came back to life, he was like, when Arceus Gil came back to life, he was like, I need to kill these Megaforce Rangers. Who is the people that we hired to kill all those Power Rangers back in the day? Are they alive? Oh yeah, they came back out of the Abyss of Evil. Word? Okay, but Power Rangers got a goddess and shit now. These niggas, like the Flawless Military, they scary. Like half these niggas got their potential unlocked. They got like niggas like Xemnas and Madara there, and motherfucking Super Saiyan Lord Baelish. Like, nah, I'm good. We need to figure, like, how do we not deal with those niggas but kill the niggas we want to deal with? Ash Blossom, Golden Lord. Those are Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are creatures that exist and have sentience in their own agency here. Some of them are, at least. Some of them are actually just Yu-Gi-Oh card forces within the deck. And there's one in particular named Golden Lord, who also doesn't like Power Rangers, which we get a background story too. Golden Lord's another villain I gotta get back to. And Golden Lord's gonna be tight, because Ash Blossom is being used like a regular Yu-Gi-Oh card now. She's not flying around, being annoying, like fucking shit up for the Rangers and the Flawless Military. No, Ash Blossom is just a card. The guy's gonna piss Golden Lord off. He's also gonna want to scrap with Mavis. A lot of people want to get at Mavis's head right now. Flawless Military, Xion want to kill Mavis. She took money from them, and Xion's not happy about that. Plus, Xion lost favor with the mother after the whole Xehanort incident. So, low-key, her and Littlefinger are trying to prove themselves. Xemnas is not trying to prove shit. Xemnas is with Rihanna living his best life. Just, giving out food to poor people and shit, helping her feed the animals, and just bringing back Planet Nirvana. Xemnas is living his best life doing that. But Littlefinger and Xion, they low-key gotta prove themselves. They lost standing with the mother after that. She's disappointed in them after what happened with Xehanort. How they tried to poison him and they tried to just kill him that way, and then that shit created a catastrophe that got everybody involved. So, she's not happy about that. But now, Xion wants to get back at Mavis. And she's not the only one that wants to get back at Mavis. I may as well get back to, because I'm doing this shit out of order, because that's how I do things. Like, I sometimes tell the story backwards to front. That's why it's best to watch the episode before you watch these discussion videos, more or less. But when it comes to talk about the Mavis plot, we gotta talk about Levita first. Rogexiel's clone. Damn, she got a Heartless. She's a nobody. She has a Heartless. She has a replica, and she has many different variant clones from different universes. There's a whole bunch of Rogexiel going around. Mommy just everywhere. But Mommy also has a clone named Levita. And this clone is very similar to her. Like damn near identical in personality and like things, but she has her own agency. She wants to be separate from Rogexiel. She wants to be her own freaking person. She wants to live. Hence the name Levita. In truth, Levita is actually another name I had for Rogexiel. Another entity for Rogexiel, because prior to this story, I actually had like I said, I've been telling this story for years, since I was like 5, with different characters and different variants and stuff like that. So, for context, the Levita was a timeline where one of Dexter's experiments kind of got loose, and the entire Flawless military lost their mind and laid waste to everything in the universe. And basically, Shion had to rewind, basically Shion had to rewind time to a point where, like she could stop that vial from being released into the public and stuff like that. And everybody, the Flawless military destroyed everything and each other, because Monero was possessed, Baelish was possessed, Syx was possessed, Xemnas was possessed. Everybody but Shion was fucking possessed, and Shion had to fix that shit. And Rogexiel was also possessed. She's the one that destroyed everything else. And Ikage and them, they weren't around in this story when I was telling it, because I was still doing Flawless Military Organization 13 stuff. So this was a little bit before my mom was in the Power Rangers mythos. And Levita was basically a Rogexiel that didn't die around that time, because Shion couldn't kill her. It's fucking Rogexiel. So I'm just going to fucking go back in time and stop this shit from happening. But that timeline would still exist, and that version of Levita would exist to cause problems in the future. And she creates a whole fucking mutant race and shit. It was a whole bunch of shit. That character's been fucking retconned. Or I might have her again and just give her a different name, because that storyline is cool as fuck. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, Levita, the Levita in this version, she basically doesn't want to be Regalia. She don't want to be under Regalia or Rogexiel or any of them, really. She's still figuring out what the fuck her name is. And y'all over here telling me you want me to be a vessel and shit like that. So no, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm gonna fucking leave, because I'm gonna teleport away, because I could just do that, and you have to stay here because you're stuck in fucking chains. You're in prison and this shit. I don't gotta do that. I'm gonna just leave. And you're just gonna stay there and be big, black, and evil. And she's mad. She starts cursing in Spanish and stuff like that, because that's her original origins. When I originally created Rogexiel, the concept of her is she's a super powerful Dominican woman, essentially. But basically, Regalia starts cursing and shit, and Xigbar shows up. Because the truth is, Xigbar is in love, head over heels, with Rogexiel. But Rogexiel is with Madara right now, and she doesn't like the fact that Xigbar might have created her Heartless. She's unsure, because the nigga had it was definitely Xigbar. He had the black coat on, but Xigbar is using that black coat as an alibi. You're like, yo, it wasn't me, it was a nigga in a black coat. But she's not stupid. She's not jacking Xigbar like that. But Xigbar still has a Heartless version of her, which he goes to now because he doesn't have Mommy anymore, essentially. But she created this Heartless version of her because back then, remember, Xigbar trying to start a whole ass Keyblade war and shit. That's why he gave the no-name Keyblade Xehanort in the fucking first place. But who's to say Xigbar didn't have other contingency plans and other Keyblade warriors to start this fucking war? So she was one of them, and to create the Heartless, it was all the worst parts of her, and Xigbar kind of likes all the worst parts of her, because all the worst parts of her are the parts that love him. So that's why he goes to the Heartless instead, because Rogexiel's moved on with his ass, and he was also cheating with Mavis just because, the Xigbar a hoe, he's a Queen Slayer, he's like that. He was with Mavis for a while, and Mavis just has shit-tasting men in general. Well, I wouldn't say she has shit-tasting men. It's just she got Obito, she got Ansem, she got Xigbar. She's doing too much. But, more or less, Xigbar's trying to find a vessel, and he was going to use Mavis as a vessel. That's why he was talking to Mavis to begin with, because he just wanted to use her as a vessel. And he's just trying to get someone to freaking take the vessel, because it either has to be someone that is close to her in blood or close to her in relation. That's why it could either be Mavis, because that's her sister, Lucky Vaughn, because that's her fucking son, or even fucking Patroclus / Littlefinger, because that's her fucking best friend low-key. So it's it could be any of those fucking characters that could take it, and all of these niggas said no to her. Regalia said no, Lucky Vaughn said no, Lord Baelish said no. All three of them said no. All three of them had different reactions. Levita just left. Lucky Vaughn was trying to leave, but he was stuck in some type of weird nightmare. And Littlefinger just tried to kill her. And all three of them had different results. Mavis had to save Lucky Vaughn. Levita just got out of there. She just teleported away. And Littlefinger, he got obliterated in the mental space and had to wake back up in the real world. So that was basically what's going on with Regalia. That entire time Mavis was watching and she seen Zigbar with Regalia. And now she's mad because, well, shit, my eviler sister that's even more evil than me, that makes me look like a motherfucking guppy, that's crazy. You just gonna be with her after you just bust my ass, now you with her? That's fucked up, Zigbar. And then and Mavis right now, she is at this point where she's made a lot of mistakes. And it was because Brandon Stark told her to betray her sister. But she can't move with that at the same time. She needs to take accountability for her fucking actions. Plus the Crash Outs are looking for her. And Ikagen's scary. Plus Shion's scary too. This Shion is way more powerful than Shion from Kingdom Hearts 358. She's older, more seasons, and been around stronger people. So it's debatable whether Shion can hang with Mavis or not, but Mavis, there's people looking for her, and she did a lot of wrong, so she's gonna go to SPD. Not to mention, she wanna take some of the heat off the flawless military. So she's gonna go turn herself in, and her being the SPD kind of takes her off the radar entirely. Qyburn and the rest of the Crash Outs can't track her, and the military, who half these niggas weren't looking for her to begin with, except for Shion, won't be able to track her either. And the only person that nobody even knows what happened to her, because she didn't tell anybody. She just went to SPD and just had them arrest her. And whether SPD is going to make that public knowledge or not, how they're going to spin this story is going to be interesting coming in the future. So, but prior to that, she tried to be the Gokai Spartan. Because she wanted to put fear in Ikagen and Madoko and also cripple them financially. But Ikagen's been preparing for this exact fucking moment. Because Ikagen's never been broke. He's just incredibly fucking greedy. He still has money in his fucking Cthulhu account from thousands of years of killing Rangers. And that shit is tripled. This nigga's rich as fuck. Not only that, every fucking time this nigga wipes out a Galaxy Ranger, everybody he catches he gets paid for. That's why he was so mad at Xehanort. He hated Xehanort. And he took all the Xehanort's money. So now Ikagen is in charge. And the first thing he does is fire Mavis. Because you done had me fucked up for too fucking long, bro. Nah. Why do I feel like you're trying to undermine us over here saying that the funds are fucking going? Nah, I'm good. I'm taking charge now. And you're fired. Qyburn, keep on doing what you do. You do fantastic fucking work. I love you. But you, Mavis, great evil destructo cannon. And then Athena was like, no, you pop-out my Neanderthal. That was my sister in darkness. You can go as well. And she just gets blasted too, because Ikagen's tight. Fuck you mean my sister in darkness? This bitch is a fucking traitor. You can get body too, and you're still gonna fucking work for me. Qyburn, make the stupid bitch a new body. I blew up her last one. And Athena, she's mad at Ikagen right now. And the Rudrick's mad at Ikagen because, that's his babe right there. You're like, this nigga just blast my bitch. Let me chill the fuck out before that nigga blast me too. But no, he just blasted my Athena. I cannot have this. And Athena, and then they're mad. They're very fucking mad about this shit. Very mad. Indubitably, I'm angry about this shit. But at the same time, they're also wondering who the fuck sent these Rinshi after the flawless military. Because we now get into the there is Jon Snow, Lord Varys, Peter Baelish, Cersei, Tyrion, Alicent, Rhaenyra. Now we get to the Game of Thrones section. And I've been wanting to cover these characters for a while, but it's a toss-up between what I'm covering on this channel because my dumbass decided to include every fucking thing I like into one fucking universe. So now, I gotta commit to play. And I've already set up this Daenerys plotline all the way back when Darkonda gave her the Crash Out switch. And, progressively, the Westerosi characters have been fleshed out throughout these different storylines and stuff like that. Like Tyrion's been with the Flawless Military, Sansa's been with the Flawless Military for the most part. Cersei, Jaime's been captured. Jaime was captured in the war. Pycelle and his children captured him, Marcella and Tommen, and they basically want to use the Kingslayer. They want to use their daddy. They want to use him. So more or less, Tywin hasn't really been trying to let his location be known and stuff like that. And he's gotten the information, Brandon Stark, and more or less how they manipulated all the events in Game of Thrones. So Tywin's more or less just been coasting. He's more or less just been coasting, trying to figure out what he's going to do about the Pycelle and the Tommen and the Marcella situation. But at the same time, he's also trying to acquire more power because, you know, he lives in a world where people are vastly more powerful than him and his wealth means nothing. So he's trying to change some of that. Like, that's why he got Marco Cosmos, because Ogexiel could just resurrect people and he wants to make it so she can't do that anymore. And Ogexiel, she says, Littlefinger, listen to me. I don't know how the fuck you gonna do it. I don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh card you're gonna use to pop that shit, but I need that motherfucking trap card popped ASAP. We've been looking for these Lannisters for quite some motherfucking time. They've been cloaking their motherfucking radar and shit like that, and I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this bullshit. If you have to kill that nigga, I understand. I'll bring his stupid ass back to life and slap the shit out of him and make him learn his lesson. If I have to, or I might just leave his stink ass dead. I don't know. But Lord Baelish, I need you to go over there. I need you to get rid of that magic card. And while you're at it, find my stupid ass boyfriend, because I know you don't like that nigga. And Lord Baelish is like, gladly. I can't stand that nigga, bro. That nigga dead ass tried to throw me under the bus like I ain't shit. I mean, I ain't shit, but damn, like, because remember, Joffrey has friends now. Joffrey gets counseling. Joffrey's gotten the help he needed in this new universe that he could never get in the Game of Thrones universe, because, you know, they ain't got no diagnosis for Joffrey back there. But now Joffrey, he got medicine for his bipolar. He got other piece of shit people that are kind of like, and they're not assholes. Like, they're still assholes, but, you know, Joffrey just needs an environment where he could actually be human and be held accountable for his fucking actions. And that's what the Star Force Rangers more or less provide for him. Mommy decided to do this for him because, like, she looked at Joffrey and said, this nigga's still a fucking child. So we just gonna give him the help he fucking needs, and that's just gonna be that. And more or less, so you got people like Naragi, Thanos, Aegon, and even Lucky Vaughn sometimes. They usually hit him up and nominate too, because nominate's with Aemon, and so they usually hit him up just to see, like, you know, make sure he's taking his meds, make sure he's good and shit like that. You know, it'd be on their to-do list. They don't hit him up all the time, but they got him on speed dial. They could just hit up Joffrey like, yo, Joffrey, what's good? You took your medicine today? What you been up to? Oh, that's lit. Marjorie hit you up? That's fire. But yeah, basically, yeah, so Joffrey kind of got like a little support system, but there is one issue. Rickon Stark is a part of that group. Rickon Stark, the youngest of the Stark boys, the one that didn't get no character development in Game of Thrones, that I'm trying to give something to him, bro. Because I didn't like how they did my boy Rickon, bro. They had him, bro, this nigga couldn't zigzag, he got shot by arrows and just died, bro. This nigga didn't have a line of dialogue all of season 6. Poor Rickon. But here, he's more of a prominent character. He's a Star Force Blue Ranger. Star Force is one of the main forces on this channel. Main forces on this channel include the Power Rangers, which, when I say the Power Rangers, it's an umbrella term for all of them, meaning Mighty Morphin all the way through Go Kiger, including Sentai as well. The Flawless Military, the Galactic Crash House, and the Star Force Rangers. Those are the main forces on this channel. So the Star Force Rangers, they hit him up. And because they got his number on speed dial and they work for the Flawless Military, Beatrice could just see that on the computer and like, oh, we just found the Lannisters' location. And now they can actually get the work in how they're going to deal with Tommen and Marcella and talking to these fucking Lannisters, getting rid of Marco Cosmos and seeing where the fuck Zigbar at. They can accomplish all of this shit now because Thanos made a phone call. So Tyrion and Syaks show up. The reason why Syaks is there, because Syaks did tell Tyrion in like episode 27 that when it comes to your family, I'll deadass pull up with you on that shit. Because he knows Tyrion. Because the reason why Tyrion hasn't really fucked with his family like that, because he's uncomfortable. Like, you know, he got brought back to life and shit like that. And yeah, the realm is slightly better play. Well, the realm is still the realm. It's still warrior. I just gotta fight aliens now. Just now, it's not fighting each other. But the point is, his father's alive. His sister's alive. Joffrey's alive. Change personalities, trying to be better or worse or not. For Tyrion, it's just too much. He'd rather just be with strangers. Even if I have to be around fucking Littlefinger, I'd rather just do that than be around my sister and my fucking father. And he's just, That's why Tyrion hasn't been in Casterly Rock. He's the Lord of Casterly Rock because Rogue Exio made him basically Lord of Casterly Rock, which Tywin took back his lordship because Tyrion's never there. So he's like, "Nigga's not in the fucking castle. I'm back. I'm still Lord of Casterly Rock. Fuck you mean?" So basically, Tyrion's never in Casterly Rock. He doesn't communicate with the Lannisters. Littlefinger also wasn't fully communicating with these niggas at all either because he also doesn't like these niggas. So for the longest they were occupied with a bunch of other shit, but now they're locked in with the Lannisters. And Cersei's mad. My son is gone. My daughter is gone. My brother/boyfriend is gone. And you haven't done nothing but sit here and play Buzz Lightyear. Tyrion, I thought you were supposed to protect this family. And Tyrion's mind is like, bro, why the fuck do I gotta protect you? The mother the one who brought you back. Me? I'm just gonna, bro, right now, I'm just trying to be as far away from you motherfuckers as possible and still be relevant. And that means I'm gonna be over here because I don't like you and you don't like me. You still talking about killing me and shit. And all of this, and Cersei's, she talking her shit like, yo, you was never born, you're nothing, you're a nobody just like these nothing people and shit like that. And Joffrey is like, yo, ma, chill, you wildin'. And Cersei doesn't like this new transformation in Joffrey. Because in my mind, it would be quicker for Joffrey to change than Cersei. Because given in a new world where there's new shit, Joffrey's young. Cersei's a little bit older. It's gonna take her a little bit longer for her to not be a piece of shit. But for Joffrey, that nigga died because he was a piece of shit. I mean, technically Cersei did too, but the real reason you died is because Daenerys Targaryen has 3 fucking dragons and you don't have an equalizer for that. Like, who the fuck is beating dragons, bro? So it's not an even fight. You have a fucking fire-breathing thing that could literally burn down motherfucking buildings, bro. Like, I'm not beating that. That's why Cersei died. But she don't like Tyrion. She don't fuck with Tyrion, and Joffrey's had enough of this, and Syrax has had enough of this shit. Because Cersei was just telling him how they put Sora through all this trouble and shit like that, which they did. They definitely did that shit. Syrax does have that blood on his hands. But at the same time, they're still being insufferable pieces of shit. Syrax has not fucked with Sora once since after Kingdom Hearts 3. And during this entire storyline, he's been nothing but kind to Sora, bro. So whatever grievances he had with that nigga is over. So he's just mad at these fucking Lannisters because y'all niggas can't work shit out. Y'all niggas is still talking about motherfucking enemies when he Coggin and Pycelle and fucking Daenerys is blowing shit the fuck up. The fuck are y'all talking about? Y'all gonna just fight it out. Morph and get into combat. Trial by combat right now. And Tyrion's like, whoa, chill. And Cersei's like, bro, that shit's just music to Cersei's ears. Cersei's like, word? I never thought about just fighting this nigga. I mean, I thought about it, but I never actually was given the okay. Square up, little nigga. You've had this for a long time coming. And Tyrion's like, shit. I'm gonna have to fight my fucking sister now. Thanks a lot, Syrax. Alright, fine. Let's do it. And Littlefinger shows up, yo, what the fuck going on? And Syrax is like, yeah, they gonna fight each other because I'm tired of this shit. And Littlefinger's like, alright, fine, might be therapeutic. Meanwhile, prior to that, Littlefinger was trying to fucking get Tywin Lannister to give up Zigbar. Offering them power, whispering sweet platitudes in his ear and shit like that. But also at the same time letting Tywin Lannister realize the power difference between them. Telling them that the mother told me that I'm going to have your head. And Tywin Lannister like, oh, you talking with bass in your voice now, huh, Lord Baelish? You ain't never talked to me like that before in Game of Thrones. And Lord Baelish like, this ain't Game of Thrones, nigga. This is fucking Power Rangers Altered Universe, nigga. I'm that nigga here, bro. Fuck out of here. Like I said, Tywin, who that nigga you was talking to in the black coat? And Tywin Lannister's just like, hey, yo, that ain't none of your business, bro. Yo, that nigga wasn't gonna give you no devil fruits. You can just give your power to me, bro. You don't even gotta work for the mommy. I know you don't fuck with her. And Tywin's like, word? Did you do that for me? And Lord Baelish is like, yeah. Hey, yo, Zigbar, get over here. Ha, got you now. Got you. And got you. Yeah, the devil fruits is probably real, but yeah, I really need to get at this nigga. Move aside, Lord Tywin. Like, me and this man has smoke. I'm not like him. He does not like me. We are both the same fucking archetype. We are both schemer types. I want the smoke with him, Lord Tywin. Lord Baelish, you're gonna lose. You got your ass beat by Brandon Stark. Lord Tywin, I got my fucking potential unlocked. I have the Dark One's fucking dagger, and I have more power than you could ever even fucking dream of. Nigga, you wish you were me right now. And Lord Tywin just has to sit there and seethe with that shit. And him and Zigbar get into a fight. Now, this fight was interesting for me because I was thinking, how do I organically make a Xigbar fight? Because Xigbar is a gun-toting opponent, but at the same time, he's a Kamen Rider in this universe. Kamen Riders come equipped with weapons, they could fight with melee and stuff. So I figured Xigbar would still be shooting, but he'd also fight with melee attacks as well. And just having him upside down shooting, that was my favorite part of the episode. Because Xigbar, like, if you've ever played Kingdom Hearts 2, 3, Birth by Sleep, and fought Xigbar and Break, this nigga's always upside down shooting you, bro. Like, that's like one of the things about his character that stands out the most. Like, he's just upside down, trolling you, shooting you. Clever little sneak. Gotcha now. You really shouldn't have betrayed us. Roxas! Sora! All of those fucking quotes, like, Xigbar fight is just, bro, nigga, Xigbar one of my favorite fucking characters. That's why I originally had him paired with Rogexiel at the beginning of this. Just him being Lucio in Kingdom Hearts 3 threw a monkey wrench in there. Plus, I was fucking with Madara heavy around that time. So yeah, it's like a fucking love triangle between Xigbar, Rogexiel, Madara, Galia, because Xigbar is technically with the Heartless now and shit like that. But but he still fucking loves the original. But he's just acting, but he's more or less going for the Heartless. But what ends up happening is now Tywin don't like none of this shit. Tywin Lannister don't like none of this shit that had to go on. He don't like none of this shit that's happening. He don't like the fact that Lord Baelish just lied to him. And he just lied to him about gaining power and stuff. And that's karma. That's like generational karma, because Tyrion did that shit to Lord Baelish in season 2 when it came to Harrenhal, which cursed him and literally cost him his fucking death, because Harrenhal is a cursed castle. Anybody that gets sent that castle gets sent to fucking die. So you literally cursed Littlefinger to die in season fucking 7. So yeah, that's my get back, nigga. Yeah. So that was Littlefinger's little get back on Tywin just in general. Well, he's not really trying to get big at with Tyrion, because like him and Tyrion still got history from previous Game of Thrones, but they've been around each other within close proximity enough, so they slightly mended, but there's just a little bit more tension there. But Tyrion's mostly friends with Sansa and Varys. Now, Littlefinger with Sansa is mostly interesting because Sansa just acts like a teenager and talks to everybody else there. Like, she's happy that Littlefinger kind of brought her there. But at the same time, this nigga betrayed, backstabbed, and betrayed my whole entire family. But at the same time, you're also the reason I could say hello to my mother and my father in the fucking morning. But the mother is the real reason. Littlefinger was just within close proximity of the mother. But if he wasn't next to this bitch, all the other people would still be fucking dead. So shit. But to circumvent this, Sansa just decides to get closer to Rogexiel instead. So her and Rogexiel, they talk, they have conversations and shit like that, and she talked about how she felt about Littlefinger, and Rogexiel threatened, yo, if you touch Sansa, I'm gonna burn your off. And Littlefinger was like, bet, I'm good, I'm not gonna touch Sansa. And bro, both Sansa's mommies told him, yo, don't touch my daughter. Catelyn said that shit in the episode with Goldar attacked Winterfell, and Rogexiel said that shit when Littlefinger had the fight with Aphrodite's forces, episode 24. They both told him, yo, don't touch my daughter. And Littlefinger's perfectly fucking fine with that, because like Littlefinger, when he came to the real world and he got internet and shit, he didn't realize that the shit that he was doing was nasty and unfavored upon and shit like that. People didn't like him, and he didn't like that fact. He didn't like that, so he's trying to change certain things about himself in this new world. He's like, oh nah, I can't even be moving like that over here, bro. That shit nasty over here, bro. Like this shit ain't Westeros. This shit is the modern world. Niggas got cameras and shit. They can see me. So like, yeah, he's not doing none of that fuck shit no more with Sansa or Catelyn. Though his feelings for Catelyn are still there, for Sansa he feels like a tad bit of guilt on what he motherfucking did and shit like that. But for Catelyn, that nigga still love Catelyn. He just realized that he can't be with Catelyn because she got a husband. And now he's matured enough to realize that shit where it won't cause him to backstab or betray anybody and shit like that. But guess what ends up happening? Daenerys Targaryen, the breaker of chains, the mother of motherfucking dragons, and one of my favorite females in all of fucking fiction. Her, Astronomer, of course Rogexiel, fucking Raven from Teen Titans, Cersei. I like a lot of female characters. I used to like Alicent before season 3. Season 3 ruined Alicent for me. Season 3 House of the Dragons ruined Alicent for me. Sansa and Arya, fuck with them heavy. I like Brienne. I do like Brienne. She's cool. But yeah, bro. So now, more or less, Daenerys Targaryen, she's tired. She wants to attack Westeros, and Athena was going to help her attack it. She was going to give her the backup just in case, like the Crash House attack and shit. You know, she can get away safe, and, you know, get away from like the more powerful people that will definitely fuck you up. But Athena's not around because Athena's a rat now. She got bodied, and she's a fucking rat. She's just a fucking rat now. So more or less, with Athena being a rat, she still needs someone from the Galactic Crash Outs, like some sort of backup. So Astronema kind of walks in to take Athena's place for this mission specifically because Qyburn is still working on Athena's body. Qyburn is still working on Athena's new body. He wants to make it better and more indestructible, so in case Kagan does decide to blow her up, she could just be slightly damaged instead of having to build a whole fucking new body. So, Daenerys wants to burn it all down, but Astronema implants the idea, hey, don't burn it, don't destroy everything, just mind control people. You see how swimmingly well it's working for me? Shit. I got the Kingslayer right here. They done captured Ecliptor and butchered him like a fucking animal. You know what? I'm gonna capture your fucking Jaime Lannister and make him my new fucking Ecliptor. And I still got Alicent all the way from all them episodes ago. Alicent, how do you feel? Fuck my kids. I hate them niggas. I love abortion. Bullshit is the shit. You see, our friend Alicent over here don't fuck with her kids. She mad that they done fucked up her life. They done ruined her track record. They done fucked up her mileage and all that, bro. She don't like none of her kids. She don't fuck with Aemon because that nigga got some weird Oedipus complex and they be trying to kiss her and shit. At least in the House of the Dragons, he ain't doing that shit here. He was nominated over here. But that's still in his past canon, so she remember that shit. Aemon remembers when he was acting all weird and shit. She don't like Aegon because Aegon was over here wilding in season 1 and shit. I don't like that they made Aegon do that shit in season 1. Why y'all do that? He didn't even do that shit in the books. She does like Helena, but she's corrupted by evil, so Helena, she don't even fuck with Helena right now. They gonna crash out switch say, nah, fuck all your kids. But what about Helena? Fuck her too. And that's why Alicent's gonna fuck Helena and Daeron too, whatever the fuck I'll cover that nigga. Because now we can put Daeron in here, give him a ranger form, put him on the team, because I understand his character now. So I'm like, alright, that's what's going on with there, and it's just a future prelude because the Star Force Rangers are going to have to deal with the Astronema and stuff like that. Because in my mind, the Star Force Rangers are the Space Rangers 2.0. Like the Space Rangers are outer space, the Star Force Rangers is literally a team based off of constellations. So having Astronema as one of their opponents isn't far off from it because she's already dealt with Spacefaring Power Rangers before. But Astronema has them, and she has Pycelle, which Pycelle has smoked with Cersei, which is why he captured Myrcella and Tommen. And Myrcella doesn't like Tyrion because she died because she was sent to Dorne and they poisoned her. And she wants to get back at Tyrion because the only reason she was sent to Dorne because Tyrion sent her to Dorne. And Tommen wants to get back at his mother because you blew up my Marjorie. Tommen gonna be tight when she realized that Marjorie ain't even fuck with him like that, bro. But Marjorie, right now, Marjorie low-key head over heels with Joffrey, bro. Marjorie heard about Joffrey getting counseling and being a better person and shit like that. And she was curious about this fucking transformation and shit like that. And she like, yo, Joffrey actually gonna be a better person and still have that fucking dog in him? I can work with that nigga. Because I think I need somebody with a little rah-rah in him. Because last time in season 5 and 6, they had me looking sorry out here. Tommen Baratheon didn't do nothing to save me. They were about to make me butt naked in the streets like his mom's, bro. Like, nah, son, I don't want none of that. I'm locked in with Joffrey. Joffrey, we married already. And Joffrey, oh, we're married. Joffrey got hearts and stuff because Joffrey loved Marjorie, bro. And this is more like Joffrey that's been to counseling and stuff and had time to think about his emotions. So yeah, that nigga still love Marjorie. Marjorie fuck with Joffrey more than she fuck with Joffrey more than she fuck with Tommen or Renly or any other niggas that she was with right now. So when Tommen hears that's going to be interesting. How Tommen react to that shit. I can't wait to get to that. This is why I want to lock in on the Game of Thrones, guys. Like, I love Power Rangers, but guys, I need to lock in on this GOT storyline, bro. I need to have these characters, these interactions, and have them interact with the other characters too. Like, the Power Rangers, the Force Military, the Galactic Crash Outs. Yeah, man, like, and I'll put a Jungle Fury fight in here because, Tywin has Daishi's powers. So, if Tywin was to get access to Daishi's forces, those same forces would still want smoke with the Jungle Fury Power Rangers. Grisaka and Carnosaur were destroyed by them. Jellicoe was destroyed by the Phantom Beast. So Jellicoe will probably be more compliant to doing whatever Tywin got her to do because she doesn't necessarily got a stake in this. Her beef is with the Phantom Beast. They were the ones who eliminated her, so she's a free agent. But Grisaka and Carnosaur, yeah, they specifically want the Jungle Fury Rangers. They didn't even listen to Lord Tywin. They just went and Daishi did this shit on purpose. Because Daishi promised them forces and stuff like that, knowing entirely well that these forces were going to do whatever the fuck they wanted. Knowing entirely well that Carnosaur was going to motherfucking sit back and plan some new shit, knowing fully well that Grizzako was going to crash out on the Rangers the first chance he get, and knowing fully well that Jellicoe would be compliant enough to make Tywin think that he has Daishi under his control. But it's not just them. The Phantom Beast and every single Jungle Fury force is under Tywin's command, but some of them are going to listen to him, some of them are just going to do their own kind of thing. Plus, Carnosaur wants to bring back the 12 Chinese Zodiac demon generals, because like I made pictures in Ranger forms for Jackie Chan, Jade, Uncle, and Toru, and some of the characters for them and shit like that. Like I made new pictures for Da Long Wang and the Dark Chi Warriors, Terrafuda, the Shadow Khan, all of those characters that exist in Jackie Chan Adventures. I remember that lore incredibly well. From what I gathered, it was about 12 talismans. You gather them all together, put them inside the statue. Shindu comes out, embodies Shindu. Then in season 2, this nigga had like brothers and sisters that were all demons and shit. They motherfucking, and them niggas basically like they had to seal those demons away, and then they rewrote reality inside this motherfucking book of prophecies and shit. And the only one that didn't like have reality rewritten was Jade, because she still had like a watch, and they outlawed technology and shit. Dude, when he found that watch, he was like, hey yo, what the fuck niggas got technology for? They know what time it is out here? Fuck out of here. Bro, that was my favorite episode of Jackie Chan Adventures. When Shindu rewrote reality? Nah, bro. Nigga, and then Da Long Wang, they was in Stonehenge, son, and my nigga Da Long Wang had these militant, quiet, assassin Dark Chi warriors fighting Jackie Chan and them niggas, bro. And then they got bodied because Uncle sealed them away. He was like, and he sealed them away. He had to settle for these bum ass niggas, Finn, Ratso, and Chow. He had to settle for Finn, he had to settle for Ratso, he had to settle for Chow, and they suck. And they're not going to be in my story. When Da Long Wang appears, the original Dark Chi warriors, and probably more. I'm probably going to make more Dark Chi warriors with different fucking weapons. Why do there only need to be 3? These niggas could be an army if I wanted them to. Or maybe they could be 3 and he'll just use the Shadow Clone. I don't fucking know. Because there's like different variants for the fuck. Bro, oh my god, I'm cooking right now, bro. Jackie Chan Adventures, I fucking love Jackie Chan Adventures. Bro, they had some of the best fucking villains ever. Shindu, Da Long Wang, Terrafuda, Shindu, son Draken. Wow, this nigga had a son named Draken. Was it Draven or Draken? I forgot. But nah, son. But yeah. Carnosaur's going to branch into that timeline. He's probably going to communicate with Lothar and more of the other Ninja Storm villains, because probably going to be crossing with Jungle Fury, Ninja Storm, Talismans, all types of shit's going to go on with that storyline specifically. Because I still need to do shit with Power Rangers and the Mighty Morphin Rangers. I know there's niggas that want me to do stuff with MMPR Rangers. Y'all done seen the morphin sequence with the Megazords that I made for Tommy, Kimberly, Jason, and Billy. I was trying to do one for Zach, but Zach only got like one or two Zords, so I was like, fuck, I might just do one for Adam and Tanya and them. But yeah, like for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I'm gonna get back to them. I ain't covered them at all this episode because I'm gonna be real, like I said, I wanted to lock in with the Game of Thrones catalog and just characters that I've originally been working on. I don't really want to lock in on that. I'm gonna get back to Mighty Morphin eventually. I know niggas want to see Draken, Tommy, Andros, Psycho Rangers, Space, SPD, Dino Thunder, Jungle Fury, Ninja Storm. I'm already low-key working on Ninja Storm, so like expect to see some of that soon. But yeah, Ninja Storm more or less. But I love Ninja Storm. That's Rocket Power Rangers right there. We are Rangers on a mission, action Rangers in fun condition. Rocket Rangers. So yeah, that was basically what was going on there. Now, Daenerys Targaryen, she attacks the Starks because she's fucking mad at Jon Snow because you killed me. You stabbed me in the heart, and you wouldn't lock in when I took over the world. You betrayed me. You wasn't supposed to do that, Jon. You were supposed to say yes. When I say climb, you're supposed to say your grace. Fuck out of here, bro. And you didn't fucking listen to me. You gonna turn on me after I crash out? You just killed thousands of fucking people. They were NPCs. Jon Snow, none of them niggas had a first name and last name. They were NPCs. They were still people. Jon, I'm gonna do that to a lot more people. There's a whole other world for me to conquer. I can't let you do that. I'm gonna stab you. And this is why I'm gonna have to kill you. And Daenerys, like, if I ever come back to life, I'm spinning the block on you. I want you to know that, Jon. I'm killing you and your family. All of them. And Robb was the first one to fucking catch it. Robb got caught lacking by the dragon. By one of Daenerys' many dragons that she summoned with her mighty flute of summoning dragons, bro. Because she has a dragon horn that she can just control dragons with. Not every single dragon, but most dragons. That's why Rhaegal was able to protect Jon, because Rhaegal bonded with Jon. That's not Dany's dragon anymore. You already have a new dragon rider. When Dany introduced Jon to the dragon and he rode the dragon in season 8, that was Jon claiming Rhaegal. Just like when Baela, Rhaena, I keep getting these two girls' names confused. When they claim Sheep Stealer and when Aemon claimed Vhagar, it's the same thing. So the dragon's loyalty is not going to be to you. It's going to be to Jon now. So that's why Jon and Ned got to get out of there. And Catelyn's evil because, in truth, everything that Rickon Stark dreamed was a precursor to what was going to happen in the future. He dreamed that his mother was evil. He dreamed that Daenerys would destroy his family. And that's low-key what's happening right now. Rob's been eaten. His mother's evil now. And Athena already killed Bran, so that already came true. So Rickon's dream was different from the rest of them. Most of them had to fight things that they fear. Rickon's was more of a premonition of what was to come for him and his family. So now that Daenerys attacked Westeros and the dragon freed Jon, so they now know that Daenerys is a piece on the board. She hasn't been noticed because she's been quiet this entire time. She's been gathering her forces, watching the galactic crash outs, how they work as an example. Because Daenerys never been in space before. She's new to this galactic shit. Like, you know, she's a dragon rider. She's not an intergalactic individual. She is now. Because she pulled up with thousands of fucking dragons with Pycelle, Tommen, and Marcella. They don't lay waste. And they don't lay waste to some of the Stark forces. The Stark still got more forces, mostly the Vanguard, still got more forces in Winterfell, but she laid waste to most of them forces. And Jorah, which Ned Stark kind of defeated Jorah, and Ned Stark can't be corrupted because there's certain people in my universe that can't be corrupted by evil because they either pure light or they got honor or some weird shit like that. Because, you know, in Kingdom Hearts, you got people like fucking Ventus and Nominated that are pure light and shit like that, and there should be certain characteristics that won't be allowed to corrupt them. Like Ned Stark died standing on business, bro. That nigga died standing on principle, bro. He died saying that, trying to protect his children, bro. He died trying to protect his children. He died claiming that Joffrey was a bastard, even though he had to retract that statement towards the end. Bro, that nigga's Ned Stark's honor is unparalleled. I don't think I could have had an evil Ned Stark, but I'm already turning bad niggas evil already. I don't want an evil Ned Stark. I mean, I might still do it. I don't know. It could still happen, but nah. I want to keep Ned around because I'm going to be real. His wife being in danger makes things interesting for him, and it makes things interesting for Lord Baelish and their dynamic. Because my wife just got captured. The woman I love my entire life just got captured. For Sansa and Arya and Rickon, my mother just got captured. And my brother just died. For Jon, my brother just died, and the bitch that never liked me my entire life but started liking me a little bit later on in this universe also got captured. So fuck. So yeah, the Starks are pissed right now. They gotta go back to Winterfell and consult their fucking forces. They don't know what the hell's going to, because Theon was holding Winterfell, and we don't even know what's going on in Winterfell. We haven't been to Winterfell in a while, so they gonna get back to Winterfell. And the Hound gets to eat his chicken because he was there. And Littlefinger, he wants to crash out on all of Daenerys' forces. He's tired of all of them. Like, for Littlefinger, like, this is going to be a very, like, he's about to go dark, specifically because he just told Regalia that he's over Catelyn and he's over Sansa, and then in the same breath, now they kidnap Catelyn, and all of those old feelings that he thought he was over are now at the surface. They're like at the head, but it's not creepy. It's not on some weird I love you, I lust after you, I on that. It's nah. They got my girl. They keep on messing with her family. I'm tired of this shit, bro. Nah. And on top of that, I'm the king of the fucking realm. Well, not in name, just in title. I'm the protector of the fucking realm. Nah. They got me fucked up. They keep on fucking with the Lannisters, which I don't like the niggas. That's why I was lax about that. But they keep on fucking with. Nah. They fucking with. They did. Sansa, can you please repeat yourself? Who the fuck was the person that they said was on the phone? My mother, Lord Baelish. Your mother? Oh, nah, bro. On some real shit, nigga, that's why Joffrey and them died, bro. Because after the Red Wedding, everything went south for Lannisters, bro. Littlefinger poisons Joffrey with Olenna's help. Please. He did that shit because y'all killed his bitch, bro. And they just never touched on that because to touch on that would humanize him. They didn't want to necessarily do that. But yeah, nigga killed Joffrey. In my mind, at least in my mental thought process, yeah, he killed Joffrey, and He set up, sir. He did what he did. Joffrey died before because Olenna wanted to protect her daughter, and because y'all niggas committed the Red Wedding, and Littlefinger didn't fuck with that shit. Cersei got whipped through the streets because you tried to press Littlefinger in season 3, talking about power is power. So, bitch, I will take away all your power from you. Don't fucking play with me, bro. All I have to do is say a couple of fucking words, bro, and you will be put in a fucking cell and treated like a peasant. And that's exactly what happened to fucking Cersei, bro. Don't fuck with Lord Baelish, my nigga. Especially one that's not on his bullshit with the Starks anymore. Lord Baelish, bro, the Lannisters, the Stark, bro, if the Lannisters and the Starks and Baelish and the Baratheons all lock in, bro, I feel sorry for Daenerys. I feel sorry for House Targaryen. Especially with the Rangers, the Starforce, and the Flows military. Oh, yes, I feel sorry for them. But I also feel sorry for the forces of good, too, because this is going to be a bloody battle. It's going to be some fucking casualties. And I can't wait to fucking get to it, man. Now with the Rangers, like I said, we'll cover something with Mighty Morphin. I'm still thinking the gears are still turning and stuff like that. But for me, I've been setting up this Game of Thrones plotline for the longest, and I really want to lock in on all of the top characters. And I feel like I boxed in with this Power Ranger shit sometimes. Like, I love Power Rangers, but I love Game of Thrones too, and I love Kingdom Hearts. And rest in peace to Hayden, son. Kyrie's voice actress Hayden, she passed away, and it's sad. I didn't know much about her outside of her being Kyrie's voice actress for Kingdom Hearts 1. But I learned a lot about her, and she was a really sweet individual. She was a really good person, and I just wanted to give her flowers, and may she rest in peace. And with that, I believe I covered everything. Jungle Fury. Yeah, I did cover the Jungle Fury. Oh yeah, Casey got a fucking battleizer. That's also a thing. He got a battleizer. He uses the battleizer against Drazaka and turns into like a tornado. I was thinking about War Raymon's Great Tornado and stuff like that, more essentially, but just a tornado with a lion with a tiger face, and yeah, that's how he got obliterated. Angelica, she got obliterated by Lightning Storm. Very powerful magic card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! As well as Littlefinger, Shion, and Ansem just jumping you in general. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, Ansem's back. Yeah, he died, and like, you know, Shion, she took his heart. She kind of still has his heart, so she could just restore his body. And she's still using Ansem because, you know, he's fucking useful. I'm just gonna keep using you. And like you, and right now Ansem ain't even against Shion, he's kind of with her, so like him being under her, like he's still mad that he's a slave, but he's more mad at Mavis right now than anything else. And Shion's not going to keep him as a slave forever. She just wants to rehabilitate him back to the Flawless military. That's basically where she's at with it. Let's see, Marjorie, Joffrey, Tyrion, Littlefinger, Starforce Rangers, Athena, Rodrone, Ikagen. Oh yeah, Metal Siege reminded them. Yeah, they couldn't find Mavis, so Ikagen more or less just told them to pull back at the end. More or less just told them to pull back. Let that bitch be an eternal coward. I'll skill that bitch when we get the chance. Which Madoko was very adamant about hunting her down because, like, Madoko don't play about her money. Metal Siege is adamant about hunting her down because Metal Siege is a gigantic serpent that hunts things down for a living. Like, this nigga's literally a fucking animal. So you give this nigga a task to hunt things down, he's gonna be very dogmatic about it. And Scorpion, he just doesn't like traitors as a whole. That's why he killed Ansem in the first place. Like, if anyone in the Galactic Crash Outs hates traitors more than anyone, it's Scorpion. Even more so than Ikagen. But more or less, yeah, that's why I'm gonna leave it with this one, guys. Let me see if there's anything else that I really need to cover. For the most part, I've covered everything within the last 2 episodes, and there will be more episodes to come. Not sure what the next episode might be the continuation for Westeros, or I might do another plotline. Not entirely sure. This universe can go anywhere, man. So, and also, if you have any suggestions, like, you know, any rangers you want to see, anybody you want to be a ranger, or if you yourself want to be a ranger, or just want to be in the story, just have anything to contribute, just comment down in the comment section. You know, just feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, I want you all to have a wonderful day. May the power protect you. May your heart be your guiding key, and stay out of trouble.